Eldrick Namaskara, dear students. Today let us learn about the structure of Union Executive and the power and functions of President and Vice President of India. So on this topic there are some questions asked in the examination. Those are discussed about power and functions of President of India, or explain power and functions of President of India, or state the powers of President of India. So these are all asked on the same topic, and that is on power and functions of President of India. And another question is asked, that is explain the role of Vice President of India. So let us study all these things in detail today. As we know that the government of India has mainly three important organs. Those are legislative, executive, judiciary. In legislative, so it actually makes the laws. In that, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha members, they will make the law. That we call it as a legislative organ. Next comes executive organ. Executive organ implements the laws. So in this, the main structure of executive is, it contains President, Vice President, Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. So all together they will execute the laws made by legislative organ. Next comes judiciary. So we have already seen that judiciary is going to interpret the laws made by legislative and executed by executive organ. So those are interpreted in the judiciary organ. So this has mainly Supreme Court, High Court, District Court. So these all things briefly we have studied in the previous class. Today in the Union Executive, let us focus on the structure of Union Executive and the functions of President and the Vice President of India. Okay, let us look at the clear structure of Union Executive. In this, we have seen that President, Vice President and Prime Minister, Council of Ministers will come. Under Council of Ministers, Cabinet Ministers, Ministers of State, Deputy Ministers and Parliamentary Secretaries will come. So as we know that present President is Ramnath Kovind, Vice President is Venkaiah Naidu and our Prime Minister is Narendra Modi, and other ministers will come under Union Executive. Okay, who is the President of India? President of India is the head of the state and the first citizen of country, and he is also a Commander-in-Chief of Indian Armed Forces. How the President of India is elected? The President of India is indirectly elected by an electoral college. What is electoral college? Electoral college is a joint body of elected MPs and MLAs. So what is MP? MP is members of Parliament. Parliament means in that we have Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So Lok Sabha members and Rajya Sabha members jointly, that is 545 plus 250. So totally, so these all members MPs will elect the President of India, and also MLAs. MLAs means members of legislative assemblies of different states and also from union territories, who themselves are all directly elected. So these all will be directly elected by the people of India. So it is a joint body of MPs and MLAs. So these all MPs and MLAs jointly they will elect the President of India. So that is why it is called as the President is indirectly elected by an electoral college. I think the electoral college meaning is clear for you. Okay, what is the position of the President of India? In Parliament, the President is the head of the state and he is having all executive, legislative and judicial powers, and the President is the one of the highest honors, dignity and position in India. So this is a very important thing what we should know. And we know that the President stays in Rashtrapati Bhavan and it is very beautiful to see. Let us look at the beautiful Rashtrapati Bhavan. Okay, now let us study how the president is appointed and what is the election of the president procedure and what is the eligibility criteria to become a president of India. Presidential candidate, here it is taken as she or he. The candidate must be a citizen of India. This is the first criteria, eligibility criteria. And the candidate must have completed 35 years of age. Next, the candidate must be qualified to become the member of Lok Sabha. This is very important. And the candidate should not hold any office of profit in any government. That is, he or she should not be a state government servant or central government servant. The presidential candidate should deposit a rupees of 15,000 initially, and the presidential candidate should be proposed by 50 electors and seconded by another 50 electors of the electoral college. So as we have seen, electoral college is the joint body of elected MPs and MLAs. So initially the presidential candidate should be proposed by minimum 50 MPs or MLAs and also seconded by 50 MPs or MLAs. So these are all eligibility criteria to become the President of India. Okay, next comes what are the functions and powers of President? In examination it is asked many times as explain the powers and functions of President of India or discuss the powers and functions of the President of India. Okay, under the article number 53, the President has the following powers. So these are very important powers listed here. What are those? First one, executive powers. Second, legislative power. Third, judicial powers. Fourth, financial powers. Fifth, emergency powers. Sixth, diplomatic powers. So let us study one by one. Okay, the first power is executive power. So in this, the President will have the execution of laws enacted by the legislature, that is legislature which makes the laws, and the President will have the administrations on the different affairs of the government. Next, the President carries out all executive actions and also controls union territories. Union territories are nothing but they are Kendradalita Pradeshagalu in Kannada. So what are those union territories? As we see that union territories are Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Chandigarh, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, and Daman and Diu, National Capital Territory of Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir, Lakshadweep, Ladakh and Pondicherry. So these all are union territories of India. On these union territories, the President is having the full control. Next, the President appoints the Prime Minister and Ministers of Union Cabinet as per Prime Minister's recommendation. First, the President will appoint the Prime Minister. Then other ministers are appointed by the President only on the recommendations from the Prime Minister. That is, he takes the advice from the Prime Ministers to appoint the other ministers. Next, the President appoints the judges of Supreme Court and High Courts and Attorney General of India, election commissioners and governors of different states and ambassadors. Those are representatives of national and international, members of UPSC, that is Union Public Service Commission. So different members are appointed by the President. So these all comes under executive powers. Okay, the next one is legislative power. So what actually this means? Legislative means making the laws. So mainly the President, he or she, assents the bills passed by the two houses of the Parliament. What are the two houses of the Parliament? Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So in these two houses, the bill will be passed by the members and that is sent for the assent from the President. Assent means oppige. Presidential assent means ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಯ ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆಗಾಗಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. So here, once the bill is signed, once the President gives the assent for the bill, then the bill is converted into act. Bill is converted into law. So that procedure we have already studied in the previous class. So this is the power of the President. Next, President commands and discontinues the sessions of the two houses of the Parliament. So we have seen that there will be 3 sessions in the Parliament: winter session and budget session. So different sessions are there. So here there are 3 sessions in that. So the president may command, he gives the order or commands, and also discontinues or postpone the sessions. And another thing, the president may also dissolve the lower house. Dissolve means that is ending the lower house, putting the end for the government. Suppose if the government fails to work, if the majority is reduced, if it fails to get the full majority, in that case the Lok Sabha should be terminated, the government should be terminated. That we call it as a dissolving. So this dissolving power is with the president. Next, president addresses the members of 2 houses together at the beginning of the first session of every year. So this means, so there will be 3 sessions. So for the first session, that is the beginning of the year, there will be first session. So that first session will be addressed by the president. And also for the another case is after each general election, the new government will be formed. So when the new government forms, initially the president will be addressing for the new government after each election. So in 2 cases, the president will address the parliament. Next, president nominates 12 members of Rajya Sabha and also nominates Anglo-Indian members to the Lok Sabha. So we have studied it in detail in Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So president is having the power to nominate 12 members in Rajya Sabha and also 2 Anglo-Indian members in the Lok Sabha. So these all are the functions of the president under legislative power. Okay, the next power is judicial power. Judicial means ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿರೋದು. So in this, the president is having the power to make ordinance. Ordinance means temporary law, and circulate the ordinances, those rules, when the parliament is not in session. So as we know that the laws are made only when there is a parliament session. So in session only the laws are made. Suppose in some cases, example, civil war in the country, if there is a war within the country, state to state, in such cases some rules have to be made immediately. In such case, president calls the parliament and commands the parliament to make the rule temporarily. So that rule is called as an ordinance. So just to have a control on the government, to have a peace in the country, some temporary laws are made, that we call it as an ordinance. So this power is with the president. Next is, president has the power to grant pardons. Pardons means ಕ್ಷಮಿಸುವುದು. In case of punishment for a person, jail, so that can be taken here as a grant pardons and ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಕೊಡಬಹುದು. ಅಥವಾ cancel, the punishment may be cancelled by the president, or punishment may be postponed. Suppose if it is having a hang punishment, then that may be postponed as the Jiva Vidya Shiksha anta kariತೀವಿ. So it may be postponed, or the suppose if the person has 20 years of punishment, then it may be reduced to 10 years. So like this is given by the president. And also suspend the sentence against any person of all classes. So this power is also coming under the judicial power. So these are all the functions of the president under judicial power. Okay, the next power is financial power. That is, financial means related to money matters. President approves the budgets. Budget means it is the annual estimation of income and expenditure of the government of India. So the whole government of India will estimate what is the income and also the expenditure for our nation. That statement we call it as a budget. So this is approved by the president. Okay, the financial minister will take this to the president. Only on his approval, then the budget will be released. President appoints the members of Finance Commission and Planning Commission. There will be different committees made for the finance, that is Finance Commission and the Planning Commission, and this is the members of these will be appointed by the president. Next, the President controls the contingency fund of India. What is contingency fund? That is, it is the emergency fund in case of natural calamity. So, yavagadru naisargika aapattu aadaga, natural calamity andre nisarga vikopa vaadaga. The example is tsunami, earthquake. Presently now we are facing COVID pandemic. So, in such situation, the contingency fund is used to solve the problems, but this is controlled by the President, and also the money bill can be sanctioned by the President only. So these all are the some functions performed by the President under financial power. Okay, the next function is emergency powers. In this, the President may declare the national emergency under worst conditions due to war or external aggression, etc. So for example, if other country attacks on our country, for example Pakistan attacks India or China attacks India, so in such cases the President may declare the national emergency under the Article 352. And also the President can declare the war also. In certain situations the war may happen, then that can be declared by the President only. Next, the President may impose the President rule in the state during the emergency. Sometimes some states may fail to function. For example, Karnataka state or Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, if they fail to function, if the majority is not declared by the Chief Minister, in that case the government has to be dissolved. So in such case there will be President rule, that we call it as Rashtrapati Adalita anta ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So ಯಾವಾಗ government, state government fail ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ, till the next election comes, till the new government forms, till then the President will rule the President will have the control on the state, so that we call it as a President rule. In Kannada it is Rashtrapati Adalita. So this is defined in the article number 356. Next, the President can declare the financial emergency. In some situations there will be a financial emergency, and that is declared by the President under the article number 360. It is clearly defined. Okay, the last important power is diplomatic powers. In this, the President may send or receive the ambassadors. Ambassadors means representative. As for example, as you have the class representative in your class, and head of the department is the representative of the department, principal sir is the representative of our college. Like that, the nation will be having some representatives. So those are known as ambassadors. The President is having, he may send or receive the ambassadors and also other diplomatic representatives. Next, the President can sign the international treaties. International treaties means some formal agreement between two or more states. So within India, or it may be international, nation to nation, for India and America, for India and China. So some agreement related to industrial or some other formal agreement, on that the President needs to sign. Next, President is the representative of India in international forums. International forums and gathering. So in that case, the President will be the representative from India, and also some other affairs of the government. He is the main representative from India. Okay, dear students, let us study the next, the Vice President of India. What is the position of the Vice President of India? Currently, the Vice President of India is Shri Venkaiah Naidu. The position under the article number 63, it is defined. India has been provided with a Vice President. It is the one of the second highest honors, dignity and position. The Vice President is indirectly elected by an electoral college. So here also you can see that the Vice President of India is indirectly elected by electoral college. What is electoral college? It is the joint body of elected MPs and MLAs. MPs, member of parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha members, and MLAs, member of legislative assemblies of different states. All together they will elect the Vice President of India. So that is why it is called as a indirectly elected by an electoral college. Next, the term of office of the Vice President is 5 years. So the length of service, the duration is 5 years. So for this 5 years term, the Vice President will be having the function. Okay, what is the eligibility criteria to become the Vice President of India? That is called as election or appointment for the Vice President of India. So here you can see that to become a Vice President of India, the candidate must be a citizen of India, and the candidate should have the minimum age of 35 years, and the candidate should be qualified for the election as a member of Rajya Sabha. Here you can see that the person should be qualified as a member of Rajya Sabha. There the person should be qualified as the member of Lok Sabha in case of president. And here the candidate must not hold any office of profit under any government. That means the person should not be a state government servant and also or central government servant. So these all are the some criteria, eligibility criteria to become the Vice President of India. Okay, next, what are the functions of Vice President of India? In examination it is asked as explain the role of Vice President of India. The Vice President of India, he or she looks after the proceedings of Rajya Sabha. Proceeding means happenings. So in case of sessions, the meetings will be taken place. Those happenings, the events are called as proceedings. And those are looked after by the Vice President of India. Next, suppose the President is absent. In that case, the Vice President acts as a President of India. And what all the functions are performed by the President of India, those all functions will be performed by the Vice President of India. Next, the Vice President of India certifies the bills passed by the Rajya Sabha. Here you just note it here. He or she can only certify, but the sign must be taken from the President of India only for the bill. Next, the Vice President of India can adjourn the House proceedings. Adjourn means end or postpone. Sometimes it is required to end the proceedings, meetings, or sometimes it may require to postpone the proceedings of the sessions, House sessions. In that case, that is called as adjourning the House. So this is done by the Vice President of India. So these are all some functions performed by the Vice President of India. That is called as role of Vice President of India. I think it is clear for you, students. Okay, till now we have studied the structure of Union Executive. In that we studied in detail what are the functions and powers of President and Vice President of India. A very important topic we have studied today. I think it is very clear for you, dear students. Shall we stop it now? Thank you.